We've been refining the cut, and in this video, we're gonna start to refine the audio mix. Audio is so important for video, so you don't want to just do very quick edits when it comes to the audio. You should definitely work on getting a professional mix. But in this video, I do want to just show you some tools that are included with Final Cut to help you mix your audio. The first thing is as you're playing your video, you may have seen in the viewer there's these two little tiny audio meters showing up that actually show you kind of an overview of where your audio is. So let me go ahead and play again.
Okay.
And you can see those green lights when you're playing show you where the audio is. There's also some little tiny black lines at the top here that show you where the audio is peaking, where the loudest points were, and that was probably happening in our music over here. So for audio mixing, I recommend clicking on these audio meters because they'll actually expand them and you'll see them on the right side of your timeline now. They're actually very large audio meters that are much more useful as far as mixing audio. So let me go ahead and play some of this and we'll see what happens over there.
What's the big rush? Nothing.
So you'll notice at the beginning there, these little white lines show us about where the loudest points are right around this music. None of them go over 0, which is great. When you go above 0, you're starting to peak, and you might get some clipping happening, which is where audio actually gets cut out or distorted. And in many cases, you don't hear that when you're playing back the audio on your Mac, but if this video gets played back on lower quality speakers or in other places, they might be very, very distorted. So this is a good time to test out your audio using headphones, using professional speakers. Anything that you can do will help with that audio. Now, Final Cut includes some features to help just balance the audio. So you can actually select all of your clips, go up to this little magic wand icon here. And if you click on that, there's an auto enhance audio button. And if you click on this, it'll try to go through and just auto enhance the audio, mixing it, applying some various effects to the audio. It can take some time for that to get applied. Sometimes it happens immediately, but just doing that is one way to apply some fixes to your audio if it's needed. Another way to work with audio is we have an option under here that says match audio. So you can actually match the audio between clips. So I'm going to do Option S to solo this clip at the end here of Simon and play it back.
Just let loose and have some fun, all right?
If you'll notice in the audio meters, they went up to about -12.
Just let loose and have some.
And I can see just visually this waveform's a little bit lower than what we see in some of these other clips. So let's look at this second clip and Option S to solo this one clip here.
What's the big rush? Nothing. Just big day? Nah. What's the big rush?
This clip, they're about the same level-wise, which is pretty good, but I can hear a big difference in the way that Simon sounds over on this clip. So I'm going to select my second clip here, go up to the magic wand, hit Match Audio, and then I'm going to click on the first clip. You'll notice here it says choose a clip that has the audio you want to match. And then it's loaded here on the left column. In the lower right, I'll hit Apply Match. With the match applied, you'll be able to see if we select this clip, I'm going to go up to the inspector, specifically the audio inspector here. We can see it's applied an equalization match between those clips to try and make them sound a little bit more uniform there and about the same sounds. So switching back to the arrow tool, the other thing you can do is use these lines that are on the clips, on the audio clips, to change the audio level, dragging it up or down. That allows you also to change the mix of a piece of audio. And we used this earlier to fix this little dip that happened in a clip. But if you use the Option key and click on an audio line here, essentially that audio level, it adds a keyframe. And these keyframes allow you to raise or lower the audio at that specific time. So by dragging this down, I've now lowered the audio, and then there's a little fade in that happens. And if we want to dip down again, we could do that. So it fades up, fades out, fades up, goes up and down. You can hold down the Control key and click on a keyframe to delete a keyframe. And we'll raise this one back up to 0. Looking at our room tone that's in the background, I know the room tone's a little bit loud, so I'm going to dip this down so it's not so overpowering, and I'll do the same thing on this clip on the right. We want it to be roughly back there. We want the room tone to fill in some empty gaps, but there's no reason for it to be overpowering. And then with our music, I can fade in the music. I can hold the Option and add some keyframes here for the music to lower that down, add the fade in right at the end. Play this back. And really when this music increases here, that's when I want the cut to happen. So I'm actually going to shorten the music track here, move it over, see if we can get this happening right on this edit point, which will be right about there. Expand this out.
What's the big rush? Nothing.
And I like how that fades out. Then let's look at the music at the end of this. So right when that pop happens, I want a cut to happen. So I'm going to move that as well. Go right about there. This whole clip at the end is actually pretty loud. All this really noisy room tone there. So I'm actually going to dip down this second keyframe that was made just to make that quieter.
Fun, all right.
And we'll get a little fade out at the end here. So that's a way you can start to mix some of your audio together.